This year is absolutely stacked, but here's the harsh truth. You do not have time to play everything. 2025 drained our wallets, and 2026 is coming for what's left. So this isn't a here are 50 upcoming games video. This is the filter. These are the only 8 games you actually need to care about if you love big worlds, crazy systems, and those "I'm still thinking about this at 3 a.m. moments. We are looking at the year where Unreal Engine 5 finally matures and the RE engine flexes its muscles on improved hardware. If you want the stuff everyone will be talking about, the games that are going to fuel your group chats and probably ruin your sleep schedule, this is the list that matters. Resident Evil 9 is finally landing this February, and it is the massive conclusion to the current survival horror era. The vibe has shifted. We're leaving the claustrophobic villages for a darker, open-world setting that leans heavily into folklore horror. You were isolated, you were outgunned, and Leon S. Kennedy looks more tired than he's ever been. The RE engine is currently the best in the business, but the gameplay is the real story here. Capcom is evolving beyond linear corridors into a true explorable world. This means more choices on how you handle threats. Fight, run, or barricade yourself in a cabin while something screams outside. If you played the RE4 remake, this is mandatory. It drops in just a few weeks, so get your pre-orders ready. This is the blockbuster horror event of the year. Grand Theft Auto 5, we finally have a date, November 19th. The delays are over. This is basically the Super Bowl of video games. We're talking a modern Vice City, neon-soaked nights, and a crime story that feels way too close to real life. The vibe is pure American chaos, viral culture, fake influencers, corrupt everything, and you stuck in the middle trying to claw your way to the top. The real magic here is Rockstar's obsession with detail. Every street, every alley, every background character feels like they have their own story. Add in the new dynamic police AI, and robberies that can spiral out of control in seconds. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the dual protagonist dynamic. We aren't just switching characters, we're managing a relationship. Rockstar has hinted at a trust system between Jason and Lucia that impacts how missions play out. If you mess up, your partner might hesitate during a shootout or dialogue. That level of psychological gameplay mixed with the most realistic water physics we've ever seen, it's going to set the standard for the next generation of consoles. This isn't just another open world, it's a sandbox built to break YouTube, TikTok, and your free time for the next decade. This is for you if you love big narrative sandboxes like Red Dead Redemption 2. November feels far away, but trust me, it's the only game that matters this holiday season. If you want a world that actually feels alive, stop looking at Western RPGs and look at Crimson Desert. Launching March 19th, this is the game that's going to make your GPU sweat. It's an open-world action RPG from Pearl Abyss, but calling it just an RPG is an insult. You play as Cliff, a mercenary trying to survive in a continent that is actively trying to kill you. But the hook here is the physics and freedom. We're talking about a combat system where you can wrestle enemies to the ground, pole vault over castle walls, and engage in boss fights that feel like Shadow of the Colossus on steroids. The crazy system factor? It's the sheer density. NPCs aren't just standing around, the cities are crowded, the AI is aggressive, and the destruction is real. You aren't just pressing X to attack, you're interacting with everything in the environment. If you're tired of empty open worlds that look pretty but feel dead, this is your cure. It's chaotic, it's beautiful, and it drops in just 2 months. Do not sleep on this one. Phantom Blade Zero is the game that made everyone stop scrolling. Launching this September, it's Kung Fu Punk, a mix of dark occult vibes, Chinese martial arts, and steampunk machinery. The speed is insane. It looks less like a game and more like a choreographed movie fight scene that you're actually controlling. It's all about the chain system. You aren't memorizing 50-button combos, you're setting up moves that flow automatically, letting you look like a master swordsman without breaking your fingers. What separates this from a Souls-like is the pacing. Souls-likes are about patience, Phantom Blade is about aggression. The developers are using a semi-open level design that focuses on verticality. You'll be running along walls and diving onto enemies. It feels less like a dungeon crawler and more like a high-octane anime brought to life. The enemies are aggressive, the world is grim, and it feels completely different from Western action games. If you loved Black Myth Wukong or Sekiro, but want something faster and more cinematic, this is it. It's for anyone who watches martial arts movies and thinks, I want to do that. Marvel's Wolverine is pure power fantasy. One angry mutant, a lot of sharp metal, and zero patience. The tone is gritty and grounded, more bar fight than superhero parade. Think dark alleys, smoky bars, and Logan being forced into situations he'd rather slice his way out of than talk through. The standout feature is the combat weight. You aren't just mashing buttons, you're ripping through enemies with heavy impact. Every hit feels brutal. And we need to talk about the gore tech. Insomniac isn't holding back. We're hearing rumors of a real-time procedural damage system where you actually see Logan's skin get torn off and regenerate during combat. It's gross, it's awesome, and it captures the horror of being immortal. You aren't just a hero, you're a weapon that heals, and the game makes you feel every single bullet. Add in Insomniac's experience from the Spider-Man games, smooth movement and tight storytelling, and you get a character action game that finally lets the Wolverine off the leash. If you love the Spider-Man games but always wish they were darker and rated M, this is for you. It's the mature Marvel game we've been waiting for. Dune Awakening has been dominating PC for a while, but 2026 is the year it finally hits consoles. It drops you on Arrakis, and this planet is not your friend. You're in a sea of sand where water is life, giant worms eat vehicles for breakfast, and every faction is scheming behind the scenes. What makes it special is the mix of survival and MMO politics. You aren't just crafting gear, the entire world shifts based on who controls the spice. Sandworms aren't just background noise, they're a mechanic that can wipe your entire squad if you don't respect the desert. If you've been watching PC players have all the fun, your turn is finally here. If the Dune movies made you think, I wish I could actually live there, this is your shot. Subnautica 2 drags you back underwater, and it's still one of the most beautiful, terrifying places in gaming. The tone is calm on the surface, colorful reefs and alien fish, but underneath there's constant tension, dark trenches, massive silhouettes moving in the distance, and that feeling of being very small in a very big ocean. The big twist this time is co-op. The first game was a lonely experience. Now you can build, explore, and panic with friends. Creatures feel smarter and more territorial, pushing every system without losing that sense of wonder and dread. If you loved the original, this is non-negotiable. If you're burned out on zombie survival games, this fresh ocean setting is exactly what you need to cleanse your palate. Pragmata is that weird, intriguing sci-fi game we've been waiting on forever, and 2026 looks like the year we finally get answers. The tone is lonely but hopeful, a ruined future Earth, a mysterious girl, strange tech, and glimpses of space that feel more strange than heroic. The combination of cinematic storytelling and gravity-bending gameplay sets this apart. Expect set pieces where your sense of up and down gets broken, and gadgets that let you manipulate physics. The wildest part? The lunar setting. We know gravity plays a huge role, but recent leaks suggest we might be dealing with time dilation mechanics too. Capcom has been cryptic, calling it a dystopian lunar adventure, which sounds like code for, we are gonna mess with your brain. It's running on the RE engine, so expect those hyper-realistic visuals to make the surreal elements feel disturbingly real. It's not just another shooter, it's aiming for unique movement and what did I just play moments. If you enjoy games like Death Stranding or Control, Pragmata is the wild card on this list. It's for the player who wants to be confused and amazed at the same time. That is the filter. 8 games, 0 filler. I want to know, are you actually pre-ordering GTA 6 or are you waiting for reviews? Let me know in the comments because I read all of them. And if you want to know why Resident Evil's timeline is so messed up, click this video right here. I'll see you there.